All right, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, we have a lot to talk about here on the day. I'm going to jump right into the fundamental news of what's happening because although you're seeing a little bit of red here from Friday, Thursday, again, we're kind of just like flat, not really doing much. Again, I want to jump more into, like I said, what's happening with the fundamentals, but I do want to show the chart of where we're at. Again, people are saying that we're really bearish, they're saying all this like tint, like it's kind of crazy to see all this. This is how you've moved since, again, May 13th. You've been in a clear-cut range. I can draw you all types of shapes, but ultimately this is a rectangle. And what does a rectangle mean? It means you're trading within a range. You've had short periods of breaking out of this range, but still nothing has really happened. So if you're saying, Tyler, why are we not getting those big monster trade opportunities like we were getting before? Well, it's because, again, you're trading in that range. I will say, though, there are still some pretty big opportunities out there, which I'll talk about here in the video. Now, the first thing, let's talk about what's happened here on the week of kind of brought us down. Number one, we have what's happening with the tariffs of what's happened with the kind of reversing of the courts. And again, it's seeming like it's not going to go Trump's way as far as holding all these tariffs on there, but we'll see. However, as of right now, Trump's tariffs go back into effect. What we've seen, they're still kind of cut in half based on some of like the pausing that we had, but they're still out there now. We still have like the 15-20% tariffs on a lot of these countries. Important to understand that. Number one, right? And Trump kind of started doubling back down. And it's funny, as the market goes up, Trump starts to get back involved and saying, okay, let's get tariffs. Let's do this. Let's start threatening. And so it's funny, when the market's going down, he gets a little softer. When the market's going up, he gets a little bit more aggressive. I think he's still at that point where he wants to be aggressive, but he's trying to mask it as of now and kind of save face as the market dips and try to get us back to the upside. It makes logical sense. He doesn't want the market just getting wrecked, especially with what's happening from the Fed. And I'm going to go back to this trade deal because we'll talk about China in a second, but then we go into step 3 of what Jamie Dimon said. And it's funny because I've kind of said this as well. And again, this isn't me saying I'm right, anyone's wrong, but everyone says, oh, the Fed needs to cut rates, this, and this. It's funny, the guy who has been pretty concerned about the market and has been pretty concerned for the past few years, Jamie Dimon says, look, the wait and see with the rate cuts is the smartest thing to do, right? He's saying it's not too late to cut because you're not experiencing any of that pain. And if inflation does start to rise, well, then it's what are you going to use to combat that inflation? What are you going to do? Cut rates more? Like, what is going to happen? So, again, big issue at hand. Jamie Dimon kind of backs this. And, again, it makes logical sense. And I don't think, again, people keep saying that Powell's playing the politics game. He's not. He wasn't really cutting a bunch of rates for Joe Biden. That's stupid. Anyone's like, oh, he cut rates for Joe Biden. He cut rates by like half a basis point, maybe a full basis point. But again, it really did nothing to stimulate the market. If you really look at what it did with mortgage rates went up again. They're back at local highs, basically. There's nothing that it's really benefited. So it makes no sense for him to keep cutting rates if they're not even having that positive of an impact right now. And again, the market's still looking really healthy, which we'll go back to the chart here in a second. Now, the last thing, the final thing, the most bearish thing here is the China-U.S. And it seems like we were at the table. We were trying to work things out. And now China is basically saying that Trump and the U.S. are violating the truce agreements. And it seems like they've kind of slowed and stalled these trade talks. Now, if this starts to blow up in the short term, it could really cause some backlash and really get downside happening quick. We saw a little bit of that happen this week. Now, before I go too far into anything crazy, I want to say right now, if you're interested, the Discord link is down below. You get access to all of our futures rundowns every single day, the breakdowns as well. You get me and Jordan. We're a team when we go across stocks, go across futures. Again, you get both of us. We're live every single day as well. If one of us isn't there, the other one will be. So I've had to take some personal days as of recently. But again, Jordan's been going crazy in Discord as well. All the top stocks, what we're looking for. You also go into his zone, what he's trading, the longer term trades as well. You get our daily recaps as well from Jordan, breaking down the exact trade, what we were looking at there as well. I need to get better about doing that. I'll tell you that right now. You go into our technicals, the setups that we're looking for intraday, all of our like CrowdStrike, the cup and handle that have been playing out there, go into trade ideas, all that. Again, all that access is for you. The link is all down below. You can check that out. Again, get the profits from the traders. I recommend, though, if you're looking to join Discord, know you get to put in work. This is not a Discord where I try to make you rich quick. You understand, see how we're trading, and then learn from that along the way and know what questions to be asking. I will also say, too, if you are interested, who I'm using for my futures trading is Top One. The link is down below. I just recorded an educational video as well on my second channel, Tyler Wilson OD. You can go check that out. But again, they're going to be releasing a new account type where it's more for scalpers. So if you're a scalper, this might interest you. You're going to be able to have 7 total accounts. Right now, you can only have 3. Right? So you guys just say, I'll take the $10,000, $11,000 payout. Awesome. Again, I use the 150K accounts here. Just know you also get 55% off when you use my code down below. You get 50% off right now, but 55% off when you use my special code Jefe, Jefe. That's across everything. You get 50% off. So whatever you want to do, check it out. The link is there. So going into this coming week, I'm going to keep this kind of simple, keep kind of short to the point. There's no reason to get crazy. Like I said, you're clear as day trading in a range with our levels here. As if you're above 21.32, I'm looking more for the upside. I am favoring that. But also, too, it's worth mentioning, above 21.5 is where you get more bullish on what you're looking for. Where I've really seen a lot of this get interesting is when we go more towards semiconductors and what's happening there. SMH is still looking very strong. You go to something like the daily 239, you're holding above this level. Semis look very strong. It's been the strongest area of the market. NVIDIA had great earnings, AVGO, TSM. Those are more of my favorite names. I've mentioned another name, MRVL, out there. It's one of these smaller names out there. I still think it's a really big value name if you want to grab leaps. I think it's a great name out there. You have room back into $80. Love it a lot. Do what you got to do, though. What I'm looking at there, AVGO looking really good, almost back in all-time highs. This is crazy to even talk about. NVIDIA, end of the day, down around 135, but you came into that big level, like we mentioned, July 2024 highs, kind of rejected off of it, but that's where you're at now. Get above 141, I think you're cooking. Once again, TSM, another big name there as well, came back into 200, rejected. Hold that, you look really good. You can't see this level because of a little box there as well, but if I move it, you can see the levels right here, 193, 194. You're holding that level right now. Hold 193. I think you've pushed back into 200. So I like this a lot. So despite seeing some of the action you're seeing in the market, and again, I encourage you guys, look at the SPY as well. You know, some of you guys are on the 1 minute chart all day long. You're like, oh my God, Terry, guess what's happened? The market is crashing. I'm like, Terry, let's calm down. You're at the top of the rectangle. They said, oh my God, Tyler, we are doomed. We are gloomed. I'm like, are we? Are we? So that's where you're at right now. You still look fine on the SPY. Above this level here of 591, I'm targeting closer into 600. Bit of a range, but I think you have a lot of room there. I think you could get momentum quick. QQQ above 521, 522. You're looking for 527, which you already almost hit, and then 531. But again, something that I want to mention here is despite some of the bad news we saw at the end of the week, you still look good. You still look strong. So I do like to see that as well. Now, going into more of equities of what I'm looking at there as well is Apple. Interesting. So Apple is holding back above your big level here, which I'm kind of shocked by. Like, honestly, this is 2023 highs. You're holding back above. This has been your line in the sand, like 199, 199.7. I think Apple, if it holds 200 going into this coming week, you're targeting 206. Personally, that's what I'd be looking for. And then higher above that, if you look good, very strong name. Again, as we get on the list, Meta. A lot of these names are at breakout points. Again, a lot of levels here. I got to keep them on there just because like you've been respecting them so much. I don't want to clean the chart off, and I don't want to re-chart them. But you can see you're holding above your big level, 638, 639, breaking back up, targeting 660. Strong name. Netflix at all-time highs. It's funny though, right? You get this narrative of all this bad stuff happening. Again, a lot of this news that I talked about, this was not good news, right? All this news. But as I go down the charts, everything looks good. Everything's looking like it wants to push the highest. Everything. Isn't it interesting how this narrative of what we read and what's being pushed on social media? If it's funny because I wasn't spending a lot of times on the charts this week because I've just been so busy with family stuff. But it is just like if I just looked at social media, I would be like, man, dude, we got to be getting crushed. This has got to be so bad. But your number one, your equities, your biggest names are sitting at highs. Number two, you're in a range on the NASDAQ. You're not even breaking out or doing anything crazy. You're literally just sitting sideways, but your name still looks so strong. Crazy to see. I saw a lot of people comment. Two of my favorite stocks here as well, CrowdStrike. I'm telling you, I told Discord, even though I wasn't super active this week, Discord, you can never say Tyler did not tell you, right? Go to technicals. What do we say here? Everyone on my phone because my internet, it was like one thing after another. My internet's down, but once again, CrowdStrike looking solid, holding up well. Probably my favorite stock out there right now. PanW also bouncing off the 200 in May. And then the day before, I said CrowdStrike, previous all-time high, loving this reaction. Monthly contracts are still looking solid. From my phone, 456 was a level. You bounced back-to-back days, back at force. The setups are still amazing. PanW, right? Amazing. Look at your 200 SMA. Someone commented on my video the other day, like, PanW looks terrible. I was like, okay, go short. And it's worth mentioning, guys, if you don't like the trades, it's okay. I'm not offended. If you don't like the content here, I'm not offended. But like when you try to bring other people down, like just know that like the only person that you're affecting by trying to bring someone down all the time, like it's just yourself. Like if you want people to be just as miserable as you, like go seek help. I'm being like dead serious. Like you believe, I'm telling you right now, the comments I don't even usually respond to them. It's someone like from the team that's responding to all the comments on YouTube typically, unless you DM me on Twitter. But like I'm telling you right now, the only person you're negatively impacting is yourself. Like I wish you the best of luck. I'm having success with my trading. That's all that I really care about. At the end of the day, if you guys make money, I'm happy. I want you guys to make money. I hope you guys find success and love the channel. But like at the end of the day, guys, I just post what I'm doing. I just post my setups. And sometimes on YouTube, I probably post too much. I probably post too much value, and I should probably save some of that just for gatekeep for Discord, right? But I just post what I'm doing, right? I'm ultimately I'm a pretty happy guy. I have a great time. If you guys are unhappy, lock in. Really, like God's honest truth, lock in, put in some work, stop being so miserable, and stop blaming everyone for all the shit that you're going through. That's my number one piece of advice for anyone out there. And again, this kind of turned into a little bit of a rant, but I see so many people complaining and this and that, and you can't do this, you can't make money from trading, you can't. Guys, stop blaming everyone for your failure, your lack of success. At the end of the day, it comes back down to how much work are you going to put in? How much are you actually like developing a strategy? Are you actually having a formula for what you're doing? Is anything that you're doing actually repeatable? Because sometimes I get on these videos, I'm like, dude, I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, right? Like, are they even getting anything out? I'm just saying the same thing. But like at the end of the day, I go and I make my educational content, and I realize, like, again, like just going through some of this, like it's all the same stuff over and over. Like everything I say, it's a giant circle. Sorry, I'm like all over the place here, but like this is a giant circle, right? Everything that I do is just over and over. It's just that's how I trade. That's how I make money trading. It's just a giant loop over and over. Everything that I do, it's just over and over a giant loop. And so, guys, I'm having a good time. The market has treated me well. I can't complain. I have a great house, great family, blessed with everything that I have. Great company, great coworker, Jordan. You've been killing it. Great team behind me. And I really honestly couldn't be happier. So I encourage you guys, if you're going through something, bow through, but don't blame everyone else. Don't blame everyone else, guys. Have a good one, guys. I wanted to do more, but I honestly just got like tied up in this rant. So I appreciate you. I'll see you guys. I might make a video tonight. I don't know, going over some more specific stocks, but we're kind of taking a trip, so it'll be a while before I get there. So maybe tonight I'll post a video from my laptop. But have a good one, traders. I appreciate you. Discord link, all those links are down below. Lock in, boys. It's gonna be a good week.